Today, as you know from the title, we're going to be looking at 5 practical mindset shifts that will transform your business and supercharge your sales growth. So I just want to say up front that I don't do fluffy self-affirmations. I don't believe in, fake it till you make it. And I certainly don't believe that you can make all your dreams come true just by, wanting it hard enough, wishing for it hard enough. So today is going to be really about things that you can implement, right away, actionable stuff to really start making immediate changes in your sales efforts, your business, if you run a business, and to some extent in your life as well. So, hi, Janet. Looking forward to the session. Hope the internet holds out as buffering. Janet, if look in the chat for the link to the Twitch. If LinkedIn Live keeps freezing up, then just jump over to that, and it should work a little bit better. But so we're gonna go quite fast. We're gonna cover a lot today. So grab a pen and a paper, and be prepared to take some notes. So here we go. Quick bit of housekeeping before we kick off. So over the coming 5-6 weeks, going to be focusing each week on a specific theme, which is based on the 5 core components of your business's sales machine. So as you can see here, it's mindset, market, message, medium, and method. So this week we've been talking about mindset. In addition to these sessions like this one, I've also got some awesome guests coming on every week. So there'll be a link in the comments afterwards where you can subscribe to get weekly updates. I would say, please do attend as many of these as you can. I know some will appeal more to you than others, but each session, each week, we're going to be building on the concepts, what came before. So with that said, we're going to just jump straight into mindset shift numero uno. So this is passionate curiosity. So I want to start off by, and this is the first note for you to take, I want to recommend a book to you called Combo Prospecting by Tony Hughes. This is an awesome book, really is. If you haven't read it, do grab a copy. There's a phrase that Tony Hughes uses in this, which I love, which is, as you can see, passionate curiosity. To me, this means being passionately curious about things like, the work you do, the people that you interact with, the clients you serve, the industries you serve. And, it's about taking an active or really a proactive interest in, really understanding the people that you work with. From a sales point of view, this really does have a profound effect on, the overall quality of conversations that you can have with clients. So I've tried to illustrate this here. So, forgive my graphic design skills. Hopefully this makes sense. So the guy on the left, he's not very curious. He's, as you see, there's lots of red exclamation marks there. He's telling. The client, on the other hand, the lady, she is basically silently listening to his spiel, his sales pitch, maybe asking the occasional question if and when she actually gets the rare chance to speak. On the other hand, the guy on the right, a little bit more curious. He's got a nice green question mark above his head. So, he's asking open-ended, thoughtful questions, insightful questions, and pausing, allowing the client to speak. So the guy on the left, if you want to look at it like this, he's 80% speaking, 20% listening, whereas the guy on the right, he's the opposite, right? 20% speaking, 80% listening. He's being passionately curious. So just quickly in the chat, tell me, what do you guys think, right? Who's going to be more trusted? Who's going to be more successful in the long run, would you say? Just really quickly, take 20 seconds. If you think it's the guy on the left, put an L. If you think it's the guy on the right, put an R. Who do you think is going to do better in the long run? And who would you trust more to do business with? Come on, guys, what do you think? Well, we've got one taker for right. I think it's kind of obvious, right? Yeah, it's kind of obvious. Mr. Right. So what I would say is, look, this is about it's about genuine curiosity, right? So we're not just asking questions for the sake of it. It's not just about fishing for information and trying to get ammunition to use against the client, later on down in the sales cycle. The R's are coming through now. Good, good. So no, we're passionately curious, right? So that we can really understand the client's situation, their challenges, their objectives, and and ultimately whether or not what we do is actually a good fit. And look, I know some of this is obvious, right? For example, we love to talk about ourselves. So I think, just generally speaking, people will naturally take more of a liking to you if you ask them plenty of questions. It's basic stuff, really. Get people talking, show some curiosity. So, bottom line, ask more, tell less. So, next one. Mindset shift number 2, detachment, or more specifically, detachment from the outcome. So, being detached from the outcome of a sales conversation is just so powerful. And I mean, I would argue it's pretty essential, really. I mean, you have to remember there are always plenty of people out there that you can talk to, unless you're operating in a really tight, really small market. So you might be working on a deal, really good deal. If it doesn't happen, yeah, it hurts, right? It stings, it sucks, but there'll be another opportunity, and then another, and then another. So it's easier said than done, of course, but being detached, it prevents us from coming across as needy and desperate. Jeb Blunt, he says that, the more you need a deal to happen, the less likely it is to happen. As soon as we really need a sale to happen, we sense that in people, right? The client senses it. Those of you in sales formally, you probably know the phrase commission breath, right? It stinks. People can smell it on you. They see it coming a mile off. So when we're not, terrified of saying the wrong thing, and I'm going to lose this person if I say the wrong thing, I think we're in a better place. We're more able to ask some of the harder questions. But what it also does is it gives us this like added power to disqualify potential clients as well, to disqualify people. So just, for example, you can ask things like, why this? Why do you need this? Why do you need to solve this problem? Do you really need to achieve this outcome? And if you do, why me? Why my company? Why do you need us to help you with that? Isn't it something you can do yourself? If not, why not? And of course, the dreaded C word, competitors. Who else are you talking to? What other options are you considering? Okay, so we can help you, but do you really need to solve this now? Why solve it now? Is it urgent, really? What happens if you don't address this right now? So what you'll find is, when you ask people these kinds of questions, I think usually one of 3 things will happen. So number one, the client will realize they don't actually need what you do, or maybe it's just not urgent enough right now urgent enough to justify doing it right now. And this isn't always a bad thing either, as we'll see in a bit. Second possible outcome is that you'll start to uncover things that maybe they hadn't considered. So it's great because then you can start to dig a bit deeper with them. And this is really powerful because when you get to this stage with a prospect or with one of your clients, it starts to make a conversation with you inherently valuable in and of itself, right? So it's not just about a seller and a buyer transacting. The conversation itself becomes inherently valuable. The third possible outcome is that they will start to explain why you are the best option or the only option, right? This is the best possible outcome, really. In essence, they'll start selling to you. So, they'll say things like, well, it's because we tried to do it ourselves and it didn't work out, or we don't have the time, we don't have the resource, or you've got this great track record, and we love the way you talk about XYZ or whatever. So they start selling to you. So what we're doing here basically is we're helping helping the client, helping the person reach their own conclusion rather than like ramming our sales pitch down their throat, you know. So yeah, really powerful. There's loads more to detachment. I won't go on any more tangents though. So let's move on to let's keep moving. Go on the next one. So mindset shift number 3, belief. So if any of you caught the last couple of sessions this week, belief has been a bit of a recurring theme. So belief in what we do, belief in ourselves. I know it sounds a little bit corny, but you know, a belief in that we genuinely do have value to bring to the table, to offer to the other person. We talked about quite specifically a couple of days ago about how sales is the transference of belief. This is another phrase from Combo Prospecting, actually, so do grab that book. And this really resonates with me. So I've worked with businesses in the past where I must admit I didn't fully believe in what I was doing. Either I wasn't really bought into the direction of the business, or I just wasn't fully convinced that, like, I'd do my best, but once I'd made the sale, what about the service side? Is that client really going to be taken care of? So there was doubt there in my mind. And in 2 instances in particular, honestly, I didn't last very long. I had to walk in a couple of cases. So, you know, I'd love to come on and be one of these guys that you see, or girls that you see on LinkedIn that, you know, they smash their target every month. And I've been President's Club member for the last 15 years, but, you know, I'm not going to BS you, you know, I'm not sure I could make you, you know, believe that either. So, yeah, so that's me anyway. I think my point here is that without a real belief, visceral belief in what we're doing, it's an uphill struggle, right? It is difficult, and trying to think how to frame this in a more, like, flip it into a more positive light. I think when we do believe in what we're doing, when we do look at it as that transference of belief, right? It shows. It shows in the energy, the passion that we bring, the enthusiasm, and yeah, simple stuff really. I mean, it starts within yourself, though. I think it's about being positive. It's about being confident and being, you know, being a bit lighthearted with it, having a bit of fun with it, and ultimately being comfortable in your own skin. So I think that's about it for belief. Say just truly believe that you can make the difference, right, for your client. So number 4, mindset shift number 4. So this word on the screen, the big word, no. So what does that make you feel? How do you feel about that? You know, let's talk about rejection a little bit. It does sting for a lot of us. It does suck. So just quickly, another book recommendation for you here. Go for No by Richard Fenton and Andrea Waltz. Write this one down. This is awesome. This is one of the first, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a sales book, but it's definitely applicable. It's one of the first ones that I read many years ago. It's a real classic in my mind. It's thin enough to read in a single sitting, but it's a game changer for me. It'll change your life for sure. So when you ask someone for something, you know, it could be, you know, asking for a sale, asking for someone's business. It could be asking someone out on a date. It could be a marriage proposal, or maybe you're just asking your mate to lend you a $5 or something, whatever it is. I think when we boil it down, there are only really 3 possible answers that a person can give. They could say yes. They could say no. Or they could say maybe. And maybe, you know, comes in different forms, right? It could be like, let me think about it, or I need some time to, you know, think it over, or whatever. I'll let you know. So just humor me here for a second, right? Just again in the chat, really quickly. Out of these 3, it's another obvious question for you, but just hear me out. What is the best possible answer that we could receive from a client when we ask for their business? Out of those 3, what do you think is the best answer? Just quickly. Yes, no, or maybe. I am going somewhere with this, I promise. Come on, guys, what do you think? We have a yes. Cool. That'll do. That'll do. This is an obvious one, right? Yeah, an obvious one. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Now here's where I'm going with this. Here's the clincher. So, real question: what's the second best answer we can receive? So, if yes is the best answer, what's the second best answer? Someone already said yes or no, not maybe. So that's a little bit of a hint there. I think the chat is a little bit lagging. I'm running through StreamYard, so it might be lagging by a few seconds if you're putting this into LinkedIn. All right, I won't leave you in suspense. The answers might start streaming through in a second to me, but if you said that maybe is the second best answer we can receive, you were wrong. Oh, I've got some no's coming through. Good, good, good. All right, cool. We've got some smart people in the audience. Love it, love it. Good crowd today. Yeah, so second best is no. Uh, maybe is the worst. Maybe is the worst, right? So here's why. The average win rate of all deals across all industries, just at this is very broad, but averaged out across all industries, the average win rate of sales is 40%. So this means that 60% of all deals are lost. Out of that 60% that are lost, what percentage are lost because of, let's say, price and budget? I'll tell you, it's 10%. So 10% of deals are lost because of budget-related, price-related issues. There's another 10% out of that 60 that's lost for various other reasons, miscellaneous stuff. That leaves 40% of deals, right, that are lost. The reason for that, now here's the point, and this is where I'm leading to all this. Are you ready for this, right? 40% of all deals are lost to no decision. No decision, right? Think about that. 4 out of 10 sales opportunities are lost because the buyer either wouldn't or couldn't make a decision. Now, we could do a whole session about that, about like why that is and how to overcome that and things like that. But I think suffice to say, maybe is the worst answer that you can hear from a client, right? Maybes they clog up your pipeline with deals that may or may not ever happen, right? When you hear, let me think it over and things like that, or I'll come back to you in a week or two or at some point. This is what slows down sales cycles, and it muddies your forecast. And if you're watching this, if you're a salesperson, working for an employer, it kills your credibility, right? When you're doing your pipeline for your forecasts and your pipeline reviews and things like that, and you keep pushing back close dates on this deal, and this deal's been in your forecast for months on end, and it keeps going back. It hurts your credibility as well. So I'm obviously oversimplifying here for the sake of time, but we need to not fear the dreaded no. We need to go for the business. Rejection is a part of life. We all know this, right? Especially in business, especially in sales. This subject does the rounds on LinkedIn all the time. So, it's been done to death. But basically, we need to embrace rejection. And as the title of this glorious book suggests, go for no. And quite possibly the ugliest slide I've ever made. This is why it's so important, so important to track your activity, track also the outcomes of your conversations with people. When you do this, you start to see patterns. And I know there might be some of you watching this just as a bit of a tangent here. You're thinking, yeah, I do that, but just be honest with yourself, because I've thought that to myself, like, could I be a little bit more diligent? I know we don't want to spend all day filling in our CRM, but it's so useful anyway, because when you do, like I say, patterns start to form, and you start to understand your numbers, right? You start to realize, like, how many no's do I need to hear to get to a yes? And this is great because you can almost start to set no goals, like not as in not setting goals for yourself, but like no goals, as in like how many no's do I have to get through to reach a yes? It could be, it could then inform other stuff like how many calls or emails do I need to book, to book a meeting, to book a demo. Dale, good man. Glad to see it's working well. Awesome, awesome. I'm quite relieved actually. Yeah. So no, this starts to inform your activity levels, right? How many calls, how many emails do I need to send out to book a meeting or get a demo booked? How many of those meetings do I need to do to get a deal to proposal stage, to quote stage? And out of those quotes, those proposals that are out, what's my conversion rate on them, right? So you start to break all of this down. And when you look at it in terms of knowing your numbers, it kind of ties back to what I was saying about being detached from the outcome as well, because you can just get like focused on this, right? Hunt down those no's, like you thrive on them, right? And someone says no, someone says not interested, it's like ding next, just on to the next one. And like this one. So this makes you a little bit tougher, a little bit more resilient. Look at those chubby legs walking along. How many times does a toddler fall on their ass, right, when they're learning to walk? It's how many? Like 50, 100, 200 times. Janet, when I say conversion rate, I just mean, say you've got you've sent out 10 proposals off the back of meetings you've had with 10 different clients. If 3 of them say yes, they close, they want to do business with you, then that's 3 out of 10. That's your conversion rate. That's a 30% conversion rate. So hopefully that makes sense. I have to ditch the jargon for the next one. So how many times does a toddler fall over? So just imagine, this kid here giving up after like a dozen attempts. Like, nope, that's it. I'm done. I've had enough. I've fallen over too many times. Like, they don't do it, right? So I suppose the takeaway from this one is try to be at least as resilient as a toddler, maybe a little bit more if you can muster that, perhaps. Oop, hang on, let's go back. 1 second. There we go. Right. So this segues quite nicely actually into the fifth and the final mindset shift, which is one more ... So let's say you had a really shitty day, a bad week. Michael Humblett, great guy, follow him on LinkedIn actually. He talks about the lake of rejection that we all swim in sales and in broadly in business when we're trying to grow our business as well. Let's say you've been wading through this lake of rejection all week. You're tired, you're despondent, you've got a headache or whatever, and you just want to give up, pack it in. You've got that little devil on your shoulder, and it's like, it's okay, don't worry, you've done enough, you've worked hard today, and don't worry, you've got some good pipeline going. You've got some great deals in the coming down the pike. Sorry, Dale, I'll watch my language next time. So don't listen to that devil on your shoulder, right? Just forget that. I was going to say something else but forget that, yeah? To quote Jeb Blunt again, he says, when it's time to go home, make one more call. After this, actually, go on YouTube and type in Jeb Blunt, one more call. He's got like a 2 or 3 minute video where he delivers this with probably a lot more gusto than I do, but it's a really good one. But, this could be whatever it is for you. One more call, one more email, send one more message, knock on one more door, go to one more networking event perhaps and meet a few more new contacts. Because, and this is where I kind of shift into pep talk mode right at the end here. Look, at the end of the day, and I've learned this the hard way, doing the bare minimum isn't going to get us anywhere. If you're a salaried employee, it might be just enough to keep you in a job. Although that's until AI replaces you in a few years and maybe you get made redundant. Your job gets automated. Janet, yeah, that's it. Devil on the shoulder, aka the inner chimp. I've been familiar with that as well, actually. But yeah, look, inflation's bad, right? Cost of living is going up, house prices going up. So, whether it's for yourself, for your family, you have to just think like, do you want a mediocre life? Or do you want to secure your future, create a good, secure future for yourself and for your family? You know, money doesn't buy happiness, but as they say, it does buy options. So, whatever it takes. And look, I'm guilty of this. I'm guilty of the entitlement and the excuses and things like that. But just, you know, it's like, and I know Dale, I can see Dale in the chat, and I know he's a big proponent of the 4-day work week. I'm not a fan of that at all. At least not at the stage I'm at in my life. I want to be doing one more thing to make it happen. And I hope that I can, just prod you guys just to do that one more thing to make it happen. Because, while other people are spending their Friday sleeping in, playing a video game or whatever, or clocking off at lunchtime because it's Friday, there are other people out there, maybe your competitors, that are still, being hard. So, just think about that. What about you? What's one more thing that you can do to make it happen? So, cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope I struck a chord with some of you. Any questions? Any thoughts? Any other comments? I should probably show up some of these comments, shouldn't I? Dale, sorry about the language. Janet, yep, inner chimp. Thanks, Amanda. Tony, thanks for coming. Appreciate that. Some of you guys are showing up as a LinkedIn user, but I really appreciate the feedback. Thank you. Jonathan, cheers again. Thanks for coming. Amanda, yeah, we need to catch up, don't we? Could you drop me a message and we'll have a chat? Thanks, Janet. Okay. Yeah, if no one's got any questions, I guess we'll clock off. So yeah, thanks for watching. There will be another couple of sessions next week. Tuesday, same time, 12:15. Going to be talking about developing ideal customer profiles. Now, this is, buyer personas, all that stuff. It's a bit of a overdone topic, so I'm going to try and take a little bit of a different spin on it, just dig a little bit deeper than some of the stuff that you often see on the subject. Very important if you're running your own business, if you're doing, you get it right, if you're doing something of your own, you have to wear so many different hats. So I think you'll find it quite useful from the sort of marketing and the messaging standpoint. On Wednesday, I'm going to be having an amazing guest on, Leslie Morrissey of Inside News. We're going to be talking about, I think, what was it she wanted to call the session? It was something around marketing madness, I think. It was kind of dispelling some myths, some misconceptions around marketing for small businesses, pointing out some common pitfalls and how you can avoid them, that sort of stuff. Susanna, the guy on YouTube. Oh, Jeb Blunt. Jeb Blunt. So it's Jeb, Jeb, and his surname is BL. It's spelt Blount, I think. Blount. He's a sales trainer, author, really good guy, American guy. One of the sort of one of the royalty of the industry, I would say, for sure. And it's one more cool, his video. He's got loads of good stuff in there. Janet, yeah, sounds great. Yeah, please drop me a message. We can have a chat. Absolutely. Thank you, Marlena. Appreciate that. All right, cool. Anyone else? Anything else? I haven't missed anything. All right, guys. Okay. Yeah, I think we're done. I think we're done. Unless there's any last minute comments. No, nothing. Right, cool. As I say, Tuesday next week, Wednesday next week, same time. The events will be the one for Tuesday has already gone up, so check that out. Click attend, get registered, and yeah, appreciate all the comments and the questions and so on. So, see you soon. Bye bye.